IATA details 2020 airline safety performance. The total number of accidents decreased from 52 in 2019 to 38 in 2020. The total number of fatal accidents decreased from 8 in 2019 to 5 in 2020. Fatality risk remained unchanged compared to the 5-year average at 0.13. The International Air Transport Association IATA announced the publication of the 2020 Safety Report and released data for the 2020 safety performance of the commercial airline industry. The total number of accidents decreased from 52 in 2019 to 38 in 2020. The total number of fatal accidents decreased from 8 in 2019 to 5 in 2020. The all-accident rate was 1.71 accidents per million flights. This is higher than the 5-year 2016 to 2020 average rate, which is 1.38 accidents per million flights. IATA member airlines' accident rate was 0.83 per million flights, which was an improvement over the 5-year average rate of 0.96. Total flight operations reduced by 53% to 22 million in 2020. Fatality risk remained unchanged compared to the 5-year average at 0.13. With a fatality risk of 0.13 for air travel, on average, a person would have to travel by air every day for 461 years before experiencing an accident with at least one fatality. On average, a person would have to travel every day for 20,932 years to experience a 100% fatal accident. Flying is safe, although the industry did take a step back on performance in 2020. The severe reduction in flight numbers magnified the impact of each accident when we calculate rates. But numbers don't lie, and we will not allow this to become a trend. We will have even sharper focus on safety during this period of reduced operations and as flight schedules are rebuilt when the world reopens, said Alexander de Juniac, IATA's Director General and CEO. For the first time in more than 15 years there were no loss of control in-flight lock-eye accidents, which have accounted for the largest share of fatalities since 2016. The lack of any such events in 2020 was a positive development. Nevertheless, based on the initial reports from the investigation into the tragic loss of Sriwijaya Air SJ182 early in 2021, we must continue to learn and improve, said de Juniac. 2020-2019 5-year average 2016 to 2020, all accident rate accidents per 1 million flights, 1.71 or 1 accident every 0.58 million flights, 1.11 or 1 accident every 0.9 million flights, 1.38 or 1 accident every 0.75 million flights. Total accidents 38, 52, 52.4 fatal accidents. I grade 5-3 jet and 2 turboprop, with 132 fatalities, 2.8 with 240 fatalities, 7.6 with 222.4 fatalities. Fatality risk 0.13, 0.9, 0.13 jet hull losses per 1 million flights, 0.21, which is equal to 1 major accident for every 4.8 million flights, 0.151 major accident for every 6.6 million flights, 0.201 major accident for every 5 million flights. Turboprop hull losses per 1 million flights, 1.591 hull loss for every 0.63 million flights, 0.691 hull loss for every 1.45 million flights, 1.071 hull loss for every 1.0 million flights. Jet hull loss rates by region of operator per 1 million departures. The global average hull loss rate rose slightly in 2021 compared to the 5-year average 2016 to 2020, despite improvement in 5 regions. Region 2020 2016 2020 Global 0.21 0.20 Africa 0.00 0.28 Asia Pacific 0.62 0.30 Commonwealth of Independent States CIS 1.37 1.20 Europe 0.31 0.14 Latin America and the Caribbean 0.00 0.39 Middle East and North Africa 0.00 0.34 North America 0.00 0.10 North Asia 0.00 0.03. Turboprop hull loss rates by region of operator per 1 million departures. 6 regions showed improvement or no deterioration in the turboprop hull loss rate in 2020 when compared to their respective 5-year averages. Accidents involving turboprop aircraft represented 29% of all accidents and 40% of fatal accidents in 2020. Region 2020 2016-2020 Global 1.59 1.07 Africa 13.024 4.93 Asia Pacific 0.000.58 Commonwealth of Independent States CIS 0.00 13.75 Europe 0.000.00 Latin America and the Caribbean 2.35 0.73 Middle East and North Africa 0.001.44 North America 0.000.30 North Asia 0.000.00 Safety in Africa. Airlines based in sub-Saharan Africa experienced 6 accidents last year, 2 of which were fatal, both involving turboprop aircraft. This is the same number of fatal accidents that occurred in 2019, nevertheless the fatality risk increased owing to the fact that there were fewer flights last year. There were no hull loss accidents involving jet aircraft in 2020. The focus in Africa continues to be on accelerating the implementation of the International Civil Aviation Organization's ICAO safety-related standards and recommended practices SARPs. At year-end 2020, some 28 African countries, 61% of the total, had at least 60% SARPs implementation, unchanged from 2019. While we recognize the extraordinary challenges in 2020 that touched on all aspects of aviation, we hope that we will see additional movement in this number as the pandemic recedes, said Dejuniak. IATA also continues to work closely with all key stakeholders in the region. IATA and African Airlines Association AFAR joined forces with the African Civil Aviation Commission AFCAC on a 3-year safety project to provide technical support to the African air operators of states party to the Single Africa Air Transport Market SAM to ensure they achieve and maintain global aviation safety standards. Safety in CIS. Airlines based in the CIS region experienced no fatal accidents in 2020, which was a significant improvement compared to 2019. The jet hull loss rate for CIS airlines in 2020 improved compared to 2019 but declined compared to the 5-year average 2020 and was the highest among regions. CIS airlines experienced no turboprop hull loss accidents in 2020, a significant improvement over 2019 and the 5-year average. IATA Operational Safety Audit ISA. The all-accident rate for airlines on the ISA registry was nearly 3 times better than that of non-ISA airlines for 2021.20 versus 3.29. The 2016-2020 average of ISA airlines versus non-ISA airlines was more than twice as good, 0.99 versus 2.32. All IATA member airlines are required to maintain their ISA registration. There are currently 438 airlines on the ISA registry, of which 142 are non-IATA members. Fatality risk. Fatality risk measures the exposure of a passenger or crew to a catastrophic accident with no survivors. The calculation of fatality risk does not take into account aircraft size or how many were on board. What is measured is the percentage of fatalities among those on board.